Hello, hello. Welcome, Kaylene.
Hi.
Hi
Good to have you
guys.
on. You can hear
Thank
us
you
and
for
see
having
us
me
fine, right?
on.
Absolutely. Perfect. So I just want to check technically a couple of things on my side to make sure all is good. If you guys are on here and watching, just find
Yes.
your way to the chat. Let us know that you can see us and hear us okay.
Here we go.
That you can hear Kaylene and see Kaylene okay as well. Let me just listen here. Uh, as, okay, as far as I
Yeah,
can see on my side,
everything
all
seems
is good.
okay. And we have
Yeah, and hi there, Sharp Sir Compact Lunch Set. Hi, hello.
okay.
And I think that's Avi Budara. Hello,
Hi, Avi
hello.
Budara. Nice to see you.
So, Kaylene, welcome. I know
Thank
Kaylene for many
you.
years. We started chatting on social media. We kind of I was putting some perspectives on one hand, she was putting another. We got to talking. We realized that there are different points of view, as we know, in the world. And we said, why not have a kind of a discussion where you can present your side and we can sort of present what we talk about. And I say side loosely because ultimately, what we want to do is aim at the solution.
Yes.
And people clicked on this and they saw who is right. And that's not the point. It's not about
Yeah.
who is right. And it's not about a debate. It's about
Let's
talking,
understand.
understanding.
Let's bring people to understanding, not to misunderstanding.
Yes.
So before that, I want to show a video. So I'm going to both of us will disappear from the screen for a second, and I will show a video. It's maybe 15-second video. Okay. So
An event, seen from one point of view, gives one impression. Seen from another point of view, it gives quite a different impression. But it's only when you get the whole picture you can fully understand what's going on.
okay. So this is really what we want to talk about.
Okay.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. That's
I
cool.
like that.
Yeah, because really we need to take the full picture, not to blame, but to aim at understanding rather than finding who is wrong.
Yeah.
Because everyone, probably people will not believe me, but everyone, the worst people have good intention and the best people have good intention. They just don't understand each other.
Mhm.
Always people have good intention, they just don't know how, so they do bad actions, but the intention is always good. Always. This is like a law that if you can adopt it for your life, you'll see that you will handle anyone and anything around you differently.
Amazing. That is powerful. Great. So, Kaylene, if you want to say one or two words about yourself, and kind of, I do know you have some questions and a certain direction that you want to start the conversation with.
Okay, so I was very reluctant, first of all, to go and do this. I think my name's Kaylene West Marescia. I am a South African Italian. I was born in Johannesburg. I grew up in a very Jewish neighborhood. So I've always seen Jewish people as allies, nothing less than that. I'm an artist. I have two different businesses, one interior design business and a jewelry business. So I think the main reason Gal asked me to come on is because I'm extremely passionate and emotional about the subject. And I think I would say the main reasons why is, number one, my father was an activist growing up. My father spent a lot of his, many months of his life in prison when we were kids because he had such a loud voice when it came to the apartheid regime. And my great-great-great-grandfather, his name is William Booth, he was the founder of the Salvation Army. So humanitarianism is in my blood. It's not, as much as I try with all my might to turn a blind eye or to not have an opinion or to not try to be a part of the solution, it's not possible. It's not who I am. It's not how I was designed. I always feel like if there's an accident on the road and somebody's fallen out of the car, I'm the first one to run to the car. And people always look at me going, "You're so crazy." But it's not about that. It's just about the fact that I have, I think, just stemming from my DNA, a deep ingrained need to be
you
a
want
part
to
of the solution.
yeah, and you want to help, which is amazing.
I want to help.
And that was really why we said, well, let's do this, despite I know there was the reluctance. But you happened before your reluctance, you had already sent me some really good questions, so I knew that it would be a very important conversation to have.
Yes. So I think it was probably about, I think we were going back and forth until about 2:30 in the morning. And then I said, "Gal," and this was not anything to do with the show. It wasn't anything to do with the show. It was, I said to him, first, you need to have an opposition opinion as well on the show. Bring a Muslim person onto the show. That's what I said first of all. And then after a bit of a I wouldn't say it got heated into it, but I started getting very offended by my perception of what Gal was saying. And I said, okay, I'm going to send you a list of questions, and I'm going to need you to answer these questions for me. And I mean, we could go through the questions. Just, I think some questions that I don't want to. I was their first. All of that, because I think the conversation has obviously been going on for hundreds of years now. So I think the biggest questions that if I'm representing pro-Palestinian people, there are questions that we have from a humanitarian perspective, people who are not interested in the politics of it at all. We have humanitarian questions.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Let's start with that.
So let's start with that. Okay. So first of all, the word good,
Okay.
the word right mean to bring the greatest survival to the greatest number of people, beings, and things. So if I invent a drug that kill one person but save 10 million, it's humanitarian, it's good. But if I sell drugs and I make for myself, only one person, a lot of money, but I damage many people, it's not so good. It's not humanitarian, it's not right. So on anything that we need to look at the greatest good. So for example, in 1930, when England decided to go against Nazi Germany, there was definitely a definite situation where many people got killed on both sides. By the way, 6 million German killed in the German side and 900,000 on the British side. So there was no proportion here, but there was no question that there was no debate correct to take out Nazi Germany. Okay, so the number of people that die, unfortunately, or the number of casualty.
Sorry, I'm just struggling with the connection.
Okay, let me check if it's on our side. 1 second.
Sick. Sorry, the connection's just.
Okay, just a moment. Let me see. For those that are on, is the connection on our side fine?
Okay.
See us and hear us okay? Let us know if you're losing us. I just want to make sure.
Okay, I can hear you now. Okay, you're back.
Yeah, you can hear. Okay, from what I see, it's also.
Okay, you're back.
Okay. Yeah. So in 1930, there was no question about who is greater threat to peace, Nazi Germany or England, and there was no question about the number of people that die. The question was, what's the greatest good to the greatest number of people? And from this viewpoint, we need to look at everything. What is the greatest good? Okay. Now, when we're looking at the data, and I want to just share some screen here. So I'm going to share a screen. You'll see this is the map of the world. Okay. This is the map of the world. Where is Israel? Where is Israel?
Maybe make it even full screen for a second.
Where is Israel?
where is Israel? Do you like, where is Israel? Have a look. You'll see that most people don't.
Mayor and Gal are quiet. Your guest is nice and loud.
Okay,
Okay,
good.
1 second. We'll make us louder. Tell us if this is better in terms of volume, if you can hear us louder now.
Okay, so I want to tell you that Israel, you cannot see it on the map because it's a small dot somewhere here, in between Egypt, Jordan, Iraq, Lebanon, Iran, Turkey, Libya, Algeria, etc. Oh, by the way, I will show you. They are all. Oops, sorry. Let me just say. They are all here. Whoops, almost. I'm almost there. The green, the big green, is Muslim countries, and Israel is this small purple, brownish thing here that you cannot see. So just to get the idea. Now, within that, if you understand that this is the size of Israel, and that around Israel, what you have is all 40 Muslim countries, 40 Muslim countries. And in these Muslim countries, the percentage of Jewish people are more or less 0.1%, 0.01%. And this is not something that I say. I'll show you the numbers. So if you look at, this is Muslim population by country, not this one, I want to show you. This is Jewish people per country. You'll see that less than 1% is in all the other countries. In none of those countries, US, Israel, France, Canada, blah, 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 there is Jewish people. However, in Israel, this is Israel. You'll see that it's somewhere here. There's 18%.
On the screen, by the way, in case.
Sorry. Yeah. So there is 18% of the population in Israel is Muslim. So Israel is quite happy to have Muslim people in. They are judges, they are in the Supreme Court, they're in the government, they are doctors, they are in all walks of life. They have exactly the same rights. So when in Jewish...
We need to turn up our volume a bit.
Okay.
1 moment. Is our volume better? If you're on, can you please let us know if it's louder? Because we're just fixing the volume so that you can hear us nice and loud.
Okay.
Can you hear us now?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
So the point that I'm making is that you need to understand the situation. Israel is a very, very small country. Actually, before 1967, when the Golan Heights was at the hands of the Syrian, they would throw stones on the people down, not even bullets. Israel is a very tiny country. To drive from one side to the other, there's 40 kilometers. It takes less than half an hour by car. To drive from the top to the bottom, it takes more or less 10 hours if you're slow. So it's a very, 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 very small country. And Israel is in between the Jordan River and the sea, which is the Mediterranean Sea. So if someone has the idea that we have all those countries, all these Muslim countries, 1 second, I want to show it. So we have all these Muslim countries here. All the green is Muslim countries, and you cannot see Israel. And someone say we need to take, we want from the river to the sea, which means we want to take all of Israel, this small, small, small country, out of 40 countries Muslim, and we want to take the Jewish people away, which means Jewish people will not have a land.
Can I ask that when they say from the river to the sea, is that not within Palestine or is that within Israel?
Let's define what is Israel, what is Palestine. Let's define it. So,
by the way, because many, just so you know, it's good that you ask. It's good that you ask.
People don't know.
There's a confusion. I want to tell you that even many Jewish people don't totally know. So it's good to understand this.
Yeah, it's really good. So what I've prepared here, again, I took all the data from just normal website. Anyone can go to a website and see what's
Maybe
actually
you can
happening.
make a big screen also.
Okay. And let's make it a big screen, okay? Okay. So what happened is the following. Historically, about 1,800 years before Christianity, 1,800 years before Christianity, God promised the Jewish people the promised land. The promised land is actually all of these things. This is on the left here, okay? It's actually from Iraq to Egypt. So it's huge, huge, huge area. About 1,000 years BC, King David have a kingdom in Israel. And this is all you can go on to any website and you'll see it's just historical. About 800 or 600 years BC, you have King Solomon, and then somewhere around 70 after Christ, the first temple of the Jewish people get destroyed. Somewhere around, I actually wrote the data here, so I want to give you the exact time. 600 years later, the Islam invaded the area. 600 years later, the Islam invaded the area.
Okay.
And the Islam invaded the area. There was whole lots of wars. And the word Palestine is actually coming from a Roman word that's called, I want to give it to you exactly, Plishtin.
Or Philistine. Yeah.
Philistine. And what it is basically, after the second temple.
Sorry?
I have a recollection of that word from the Bible, Philistine.
Yeah. Philistine is actually not from the Bible. You're talking about Plishtim. It's somewhere else. So Philistine is actual area. It is actually an enemy, a group of rebels that was fighting against the Jewish people at the time of the second temple. And when the Roman destroyed the second temple, they wanted to insult the Jewish, so they gave the area the name Philistine.
Okay, you're saying that's from the Latin meaning of the word?
Yeah. Now, since then, this area was controlled by different countries. It was the Byzantine time, and then there was the Ottoman time, and then the English people took it. And if I will ask you, up to 1948, name one king, prime minister, president, any minister of Palestine, you will not be able to give me, because there was no country, there was no people of Palestine. Any person that was living there at the time of the British Mandate, they got from the British Mandate a passport. At the time of before that, they got from the Ottoman Empire an okay to live there, not a passport. So there was never a Palestine nation. Now, 1948, and this is all public record, 1948, the Jewish people arrived to the promised land, and there was some Arabs people there, and there was...
Can I interrupt with a question?
Of course.
And so, again, without any offense, I just want to understand what you mean by the land was promised by God. Like, how was it?
Yeah.
Was it
Okay.
Was it a messenger that was sent? Was it a philosopher? Was it a...
Okay,
like,
good. When Moses, there's the Bible, and the Bible was agreed by Jewish people, Christian, and Muslims. If you will look, I don't know if you know, but the Quran is divided to two Qurans. There's the Quran that was written in Mecca, where the Prophet Muhammad praised the Jewish people and confirmed that the Jewish people are in Israel, in the promised land.
Okay.
Jerusalem is mentioned about 450 times in the Bible, not once in the Quran. Go and check. Then after that, when he was, at that time, he managed to get about 450 believers in 10 years in Mecca. And then he was exiled, by the way, unjustly, to Medina. And he went to Medina, and in Medina, he became a politician and a fighter. And the second part of the Quran that was written in Medina, is all about how to handle what he called kafir. Kafir in from the Muslim people, it means any person that is not a Muslim. Now, what he says there, he says, look, any kafir, any person that is not Muslim, has three options. Option number one, to become Muslim. Option number two, to pay dues as a right to survive. And option number three, to be killed. And he named the jihad, and there's four types of jihad. And the jihad is composed of four parts. One part is the politician jihad, and which means that the Muslims will go take power in a political places and then convert any place they are in into Muslim. The second part is the jihad of money. By accumulating money, with money they will buy land and will force themselves to become a Muslim. The third one is the jihad of the sword. Anyone that do not actually work with either money or politicians, he will be killed by the sword. And the fourth one is the jihad of public relation, by convincing people at the beginning. All of it is a jihad. If you look at the Hamas, and before that, the PLO, and the other terrorist organization, just read, I don't say, just read the mandate, what is their policy. It is saying there that their purpose is the annihilation of Israel, which means from the river to the sea. Now, what is Palestine? Palestine, I will show you the map, so you will actually have, I've prepared that. So we'll look at Google Earth. This is Israel. You see, this is all.
Share it. It's not
sorry, I'm not showing it. Yes. So this is Israel. Okay.
Maybe make it also big. Sorry to interrupt there. Just
yeah,
make it
no
big.
problem. So here is Israel. Now, if I look in, you'll see this is Israel. This is all Israel. And where is Palestine? Here, there is Gaza. It's more or less from here, and it will be. Here we go. Here is Gaza. There's a very small strip here that's called Gaza. And then here, there is another strip here that you can see from here, Jericho, all this area up here, which is the West Bank. This is Palestine. Now, why the history is so important? Because when people chanting from the river to the sea, they are wanting, no, they're not humanitarian, because what they say in the charter of the PLO, it's come from the charter of PLO, because in the charter of PLO, it says we will push all the Jewish people to the sea, which means we come from all the Arab countries here on the right, and we'll push them from the river, the Jordan River, to the sea. Now, once you realize that this is the purpose, you will never say, I am humanitarian and I want from the river to the sea. Because basically what you say is, I want to finish what Hitler did not manage to do. That's what it means.
I think we have to be very careful. We have to be very careful when we say something like that, because you need to understand also that there are, for example, I'm going to use the word that you use now, kafir, right? When you were explaining like the origin of that word. Now, in South Africa, that was a derogatory term. We didn't even know. I never knew that. And thank you for informing me of that, because I never knew that was where the word was from. But the use of that word was in somewhat a completely different context. Now, you have to understand that when we chant in marches from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, it's by no means that we have an understanding of what that means, and this is where the the commonalities.
That's why we are here.
Yeah,
that's why we are here.
That's where the compassion element comes in, right? It's not.
Wait, what was the last sentence you said? Sorry, what was?
Yeah, when you hear hatefulness,
we didn't hear
us,
you.
Yeah,
we didn't
when
hear
you hear hatefulness, and when you hear anti-Semitism, as in this means they want to push us out, to us as Palestine supporters, it means that this part of the land we can stay on and we can be free to live. That's what it means.
So let's have a look at that. Let's have a look at that. Okay, let's have a look at that. Palestinians living in Israel totally free. There was an offer given to all the Arab people in Israel to become Palestinians, to move to Palestine. Not one person agreed. You know why? Because in Israel they're free. In Israel they can have an opinion. In Israel they can get education. In Israel they can be against the government.
In Israel they can be gay.
In Israel they can be gay. In Israel women can talk. In Palestine, if you are gay, they throw you off the building so everyone will see. So when you say from the river to the sea, and if you don't understand what you say, you need to get educated so you will understand that from the river to the sea, meaning that you want to push Israel away. Read the charter. I can read it to you if you want. Do you want me to open the charter?
No, we're not going to go there.
You can do it.
Because also,
because it's even worse, because there they don't talk about just pushing the Jewish people to the sea. This is the PLO. The Hamas, what they say is every single Jew in the world must die for the profit of what Muhammad said, but which, by the way, was in the Al-Bukhari book. And the prophet in the Al-Bukhari book says that is very acceptable as part of the Christian belief, is that God will come and will help the Muslim to kill all the Jews, not some of the Jews.
The Christian belief or the
Muslim belief?
Okay.
That not some of the Jews, not only the Jews with the long nose, all the Jews. So if you really understand what you're saying, you will not say it.
Okay.
It's like imagine that I don't understand. One second. Imagine that I don't understand who is Hitler, and I say Hitler was the best man in history. I don't understand, not because I'm a bad person. So when someone says something, they need to understand what they say. When they say, this is my land, it's not true. Let me give you the history of the land of Palestine, Gaza and the West Bank. So before 1967, Israel became independent in 1948. Gaza belonged to Egypt. Gaza belonged to Egypt. The West Bank belonged to Jordan. Please go and check. 1956, there is the Kadesh operation. Israel take Gaza and the West Bank from Jordan. There's an agreement. Israel give Gaza to Egypt, and Israel give the West Bank to Jordan, and everyone saying, okay, now we will have peace. Again, another war, 67. By the way, none of this war Israel started. 1907, like the 7th of October, Israel did not start the war, but in 67, Israel take all the area, and I will show you which area Israel take. So in 67, what happened is Israel take all the area from this line here all the way to the Red Sea. So Israel took over Sinai, Gaza, the West Bank. Israel had a very big win in 67. Now in 70, I think it was 78. In 78, there was the peace agreement with Egypt. Israel gave everything back, but Egypt did not want Gaza. The agreement, the peace agreement, almost broke because Israel wanted to give Gaza back to the Egypt where it come from, where they belong to. They belong to Egypt. It was never an independent country. But Egypt didn't want. Do you know why? Because Egypt had the problem with the Muslim Brothers. Now, if you know, in the last few years, the Muslim Brothers actually, for a short period, threw away the government of Egypt and overtook Egypt, and then Assisi, the army, overtook the Muslim Brothers and took them out of the law. They are illegal organization in Egypt at the moment. They survive only in Gaza and in the West Bank. No other country wants to take those Palestinians because, according to the Arab countries, Egypt, Jordan, Lebanon, they don't want those people. Why they don't want them? Not because the Palestinians are bad, because they are controlled by people that, by the Hamas, by the Hezbollah, people that are terrorist organization. And it's not that I said that they're terrorist organization, they are terrorist organization. So when we talk about what's actually happened, the history, if you really realize what it is, there is no such thing as Palestinian people. Palestinian people are a small group of people that Egypt and Jordan didn't want because they were a troublemaker, and they gave it to Israel, didn't want to take them back as part of the peace accord. And now Israel have a peace with Egypt, peace with Jordan. But one thing for sure, there is a massive problem right now in Gaza. Who do not open the door for the Palestinian to go to Egypt? Why the Egyptian don't open the door? They say that Israel put a blockade on Gaza. It's not true. Why it's not true? Because Gaza, if we look again,
we don't even have to go into that yet. 1 second.
Okay. Is it okay if I just if I just put a? I'm gonna intervene somewhat. I think that there are this type of conversation should more than likely happen on a platform with in a healthy way, but with your Muslim brothers that have a deep understanding of, as like in their perspective from their history, from what they've been taught. But again, the only thing that I know about this is that it's been going on for so long, and if there was a result, there would have been a fucking result by now. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just.
But Israel offers 6-time peace. But Israel signed 6-time peace. The last time Barack and Clinton agreed, signed a peace agreement, gave the Palestinian an independent country, 97% of the land that they wanted, they got, and Arafat refused. He broke the peace agreement. He signed. There was handshaking. Check, and you will see. So the Palestinian offered 6 times. One second. And what you're saying is like that. You're saying, look, I don't have the data, but I support them. How can someone support the Jewish people or the Palestinian people or the cockroaches if he doesn't have data? It just doesn't make sense to support something that you don't have data over.
This is a very good question. Why do I support the Palestinians?
Something that you don't understand. Well, why do you support something that you admittedly say I don't understand?
No, you're asking me the question, so you're going to allow me space to answer the question, right?
Yeah, of course.
So number one, I'm a child of apartheid, and I'm going to ask you. So I'm also a little bit harder because I'm a mixed race child of apartheid. So it was even a little bit more complicated. I remember being 5 years old, and my mother is Italian but with Malaysian descent as well. So she's quite dark skinned. So she had a colored passport, they had the documents back there. And what we understand from the situation in Palestine, as it has been for the past, let's just talk about the past 50 years, for example, is that there has been a war, that there has been a complete segregation, lack of human rights to Palestinian people, and that cannot be denied. That's absolutely undeniable.
Let's have a look at the data. You taking that as a fact, but you cannot give me facts.
Sure,
let's look at the data. Let's look at the data. Okay, which human rights Palestinians don't have?
What human rights do Palestinians not have? Okay, so
give me one.
Okay, so what in Palestine compared to
in Palestine, which human rights Palestinians don't have? Who give you human rights in South Africa? The government of South Africa, yes? True or false?
Who gives us human? Sorry, what was
Yeah.
the question?
Who give you human rights in South Africa? Who gives human rights in the US? The government of the US.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, good. So who is the government? Who is the government of Gaza?
Okay, so I just want to ask. I'm
Who
going
is-
to ask a question. I want to ask a question.
Okay.
Okay, guns down. I want to ask a question. Confirm and I'm going to say confirm or deny. Do you confirm or deny that Palestinians have had less rights than Israelis in Palestine?
Okay. So let's define the word Palestine. Israel don't give rights in Palestine. The Hamas give rights in Gaza. In the Palestinian Authority give rights in the West Bank. You really have to understand the mechanism. You don't understand the mechanism.
It's not up to. In other words,
It's not.
It's not up
I
to
cannot
Israel.
give you. Can Namibia give rights to South African?
No.
Can Egypt give rights? No, because it's their own place. You need to understand. In 2005, Israel left Gaza totally to its own, gave it $4 billion from Israel, other than AIDS and so on, $4 billion, and told Gaza, at that time it was the PLO that was controlling it, and told Gaza, go and build a country. We will help you. There was planned to build an amazing, like the Paris of the Middle East, they want to build there. Israel gave them the money. There was totally free movement between Israel and Gaza. Gazan was working in Israel. Israeli was doing business with Gazan. And then 2 years later, the Hamas threw away the Palestinian Authority and took Gaza. Why do you think there's two governments? Because between them, they're fighting. Gaza is controlled by a terrorist organization, by ISIS.
So
and if you really realize that, what?
Okay. How would you explain, for example, if I'm just talking about, again, as a civilian, not a politician by any means, how would you explain the video footage that we've seen for many years of Israeli armies going into Palestinian homes and claiming the home?
Let me ask you. Imagine that you sit in a restaurant in Cape Town and a suicide bomber from Namibia come and explode citizens. Not once, not twice. I'll give you the number of suicide bombers. Hold on a second. Give me a second, please. Second. I've prepared that.
You're saying the people whose homes were taken over were suicide bombers?
Hold on. I'll show you. Hold on a second, please. Okay? Hold on a second.
Look, where you were? There.
Ah, yes. Okay. So what I'm going to show you right now is like that.
Make it big.
I'll show you. Okay, so have a look. Now, this is number of suicide bombers per year. This is 97, 98, 2001, 2002. Look at 2002, how many times per year? People that just come with suicide vests and explode themselves in a restaurant, in a party, all civilian places. This is the list go on and on. 2003, 2004, 2005. This is, and it goes on and on and on. Don't think that it's not happening more. In Israel at the moment, if you walk in the street, your chances to be stabbed by a Palestinian that was brainwashed by the Hamas, by Hamas soldier, is 1 to 80. People go in the street and have a knife. Imagine you walk in the waterfront and a guy hates you just because you are black or Jewish or colored or you have long nose and stab you. Imagine you sit in a restaurant. One second. No, let me finish. Hold on. Imagine you sit in a restaurant and more or less 100 times in a year, which means more or less every 3 days, there is a suicide bomber exploding himself. What Israel should do? Which country will accept it? What Israel should do? Not go in and fight? Now Israel every time goes in, start to handle it, and the whole world say, well, there's too many people dying. There was 9/11, one attack on the US, 2 wars, more or less 500,000 people, civilians die.
Okay,
So
we know that. We know that.
I didn't finish. So if you don't have the data, you cannot chant for Israel or against Israel. You really have to be responsible, because how people become Nazi? They become Nazi because they went after Hitler without getting the data. This is how German, very educated, smart, amazing people become Nazis, because they went without the data. So any chant for Israel or for Palestinian against Israel or Palestinian without knowledge, he is at risk of becoming Nazi.
Okay, so this is now very important, right? Because when you speak about data, we need to compartmentalize the information that I am trying to gain from you, instead of us spreading it out. There's specific things that we need to have your understanding or your answers on. So when I asked you specifically in the past 50 years, when I asked you about the Israeli soldiers and the video footage that we've seen, and I'm just talking about the video footage that we've seen of like hundreds of videos of the Israeli armies going into Palestinian homes, brutally attacking Palestinians and taking over their homes, and also a lot of kind of maybe it's like Zionist people, but that chant things like, we're going to start with this part of the land and then we'll continue until all the land is ours, and brutally taking people out of their homes and separating them from their families.
Okay,
so
let me answer.
Yeah, so that's the question that I'm asking. That's what we and it's not just what we've been told. That's footage that we've seen.
Yeah, you've seen footage of the Israeli people. Yeah, you've seen footage of the Israeli army go to a home. Okay, have you seen before that the footage of the suicide bomber killing 200 people in a restaurant? And have you realized that the person that Israel went and arrested or killed or whatever was actually part of the operation? If you really realize what you're looking at.
Okay, so you're saying that those homes were specifically targeted because they believe that
of course, Israel. What's the difference between Hamas and Israel and Hitler? I'll give you the differences. Hitler killed citizens, innocent people, but he was hiding it. Hamas is not hiding it. He has a GoPro on the head, and he's been very open about it, and the heads of the Hamas clapping. And when the terrorists came back from the massacre on the October 7th, they got sweets from all the people in the street. They are not hiding the atrocities. The German hide the atrocities. Israel, before it's bombed any building, has a procedure that's called knock on the roof. They send a small kind of like a flare that said, look, we're going to bomb this building. You need to leave. Hamas prevent them from leaving. There is footage right now, if you go and you look, that Hamas shooting people that are trying to go to the south of Gaza, shooting its own people.
Okay, so now
if you really understand, let me finish. If you really understand that we're dealing with a terrorist organization, it has never been in history that a country would need to explain its behavior against a terrorist organization. Hamas is a terrorist organization. It's been defined by the UN, by the US, by the UK, by Germany, by all the Western countries. Hamas is a terrorist organization.
Okay.
How can anyone support Hamas without knowledge? You don't know what they're doing. You just
so this is not about Hamas.
Oh yes, I know what's going on.
My biggest question is, and this is my biggest question, and this is a question that because why have hospitals, refugee camps, journalists, UN employees being targeted? Why? Let's start with this. Why are there so many babies dead? Why are there so many babies?
First, let's have a look. Why. When someone come to you and attack you and steal, kidnap 10 months old babies, kill 2,000 people, kidnap 240, and he hide them within the tunnels in the hospitals. And Israel didn't go to the hospital when there was this missile that was sent on the hospital. the Israeli proved that it was a failed missile. Do you know that there is more people, more citizens killed by failed missile of the Hamas than by Israelis? So when you embed your weapon,
What do you say? Sorry, Kaylene, what do you say?
I don't think that's true.
have a look. Have a look. It's not me. It's a UN and the US intelligence. It's not Israelis. Have a look. But if you look, if Hamas use people as human shield, who is the problem? The people that, if I use him as a human shield, who is the problem? The person that shoot or the person that use him as a human shield?
Okay.
Just
Okay.
open your eyes. Hamas using, I'm not saying, today Biden said that the US have 100% proof that the Hamas using hospitals, kindergartens, private citizen as human shield. There is a video that people shoot, that Hamas shooting RPGs on their own people that trying to fled. The Hamas is a terrorist organization and we need to free Palestine, you are right, from the Hamas.
Okay. So say for example, we knew that there are 5 Hamas leaders, I mean, hiding inside
No. 40,000 in the channel.
Hypothetical. Let's say there's a 5 leaders in the wall.
Say, for example, there were 5 Hamas leaders and they were hiding inside of a hospital. But Israel knew that that was literally a cancer ward, a children's cancer ward, that there were over 10,000 patients in that hospital. Even if you knew, and this is my question to you, even if you knew that I mean, for all we know that the Hamas leaders aren't there, right? But hypothetically speaking, you had intel that they are. Are you still willing to take the lives of all of those children, regardless?
No. Can you name one hospital that Israel purposely bombed? One.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't have that information.
But it never happened. It's nonsense. The only time that the hospital was hit in this war was by the Hamas. That's what I'm telling you.
Okay, so you're
Israel
saying
sitting around Shifa for 2 weeks now, protecting people to leave Shifa. Israel offer to the hospital babies, how do you call it, the incubators. They don't allow it to take it. Israel gave fuel to Shifa, and the person that went to take out the fuel from the hospital got shot. So you see one-sided view.
Manpower from though, like where's
Sorry?
Hamas?
Where's Hamas
Where
getting
they
all this?
getting all this manpower?
Okay. Underneath, when Israel gave billions of dollars to Hamas, instead of helping the Palestinians and give them life, they built 500 kilometers of underground tunnels. And those tunnels, all the center of the tunnels is under schools, under hospitals, under church mosques. And if you go and look, and don't just watch Al Jazeera, which is one-sided, telling you one view. Don't watch Al Jazeera, but actually go and check the data. You will see, yes, there is a lot of people that getting hurt. Israel did not shoot one hospital. Israel did never shoot. When there is civilians, Israel try its best not to shoot. The Hamas targets specifically civilians. So who should we free ourselves from? An organization that go to homes of people and kill them while they sleep, that throw hand grenades into homes. Imagine someone come to your home and throw a hand grenade, or an army that after you open a war on me, I'm going to retaliate. And yes, there are definitely unfortunate people that get hurt. Who should we handle? The Hamas, the source that opened the war, or the people that defend themselves?
Okay, so you're saying that Israel, so in your opinion, or from your knowledge, Israel is not responsible for the bombings of the hospitals, the refugee camps?
No, not responsible. Israel did not shoot on any hospital when there was people there. And I can tell you, like, I'll do a deal with you. You sit in South Africa, you probably need some money. I'll give you 100,000 rent if you show me one proof that the US say, not Al Jazeera, that the US or England say one time in this war that Israel hit a school or a hospital that there was people there.
That is the basis of all
But
of
listen,
the.
I give you 100,000 rand. Give me one time that the US, not you, not the Palestinian, not other people, the US, which is more or less independent, or the American, or the English, or the German, that will come and tell you that their intelligence said that Israel shoot a hospital. It
So
never
what-
happened.
Okay. I hear your
100,000 rand. This is, by the way, a legal agreement, because we are live and it's open. I'm making with you a legal agreement. You get 100,000
So
rand. It's not a good deal.
I definitely don't want the money. I'm okay with that. Thank you very
I
much.
think it's a
I'm very
great,
happy I'm very happy being struggling hard for
Right.
this.
Great
So
respect
I
for your
just
time on the live.
I just wanted to I just wanted to get clarity on the fact that you genuinely believe that Israel is not responsible for the bombings, that Hamas was responsible for the bombings. And
No. I said Israel did not hit hospitals. Israel do not hit civilians on purpose. Israel is responsible for every action it takes. But when someone open a war at me, when someone come in the middle, in the 6:30 in the morning and kill 3,000 civilians, not soldiers, kidnap children, he opened a war. And then when I retaliate, it started to cry. I can tell you, grow up. Stop crying. You open. Now you have two options. You have 420, you have, and Israel offered that. It says, look, you have 420 people that you kidnap, children, babies, Holocaust survivors, old people. Israel said, we will stop the fighting right now, release all of them. The Hamas leaders itself, go and check, said the responsibility for our soldiers, for the Hamas is the Hamas. The responsibility for the Palestinians is the UN, is all kind of humanitarian organization. They are not responsible for their own people. That's what they say. That's why they are hiding in the camels.
Israel.
What? I didn't hear you say again.
Why is the world blaming Israel? If Israel
Well, first of all, the world.
That's a good question.
That's a very good question. The world is not blaming Israel. This is a very big generality. When every time Muslim chant kill Israel, they also chant kill the US. They said that Israel is the small Satan and the big Satan is the US. Why? Because Israel represents good. And if you look at history, every good purpose was fought. Many people supported Hitler, but the majority is not supporting the Hamas. The majority is not against Israel. But because you watching one viewpoint, Al Jazeera or someone similar to that.
What's that?
I'm definitely not watching one-sided. I watch
But in otherwise, I can show you the majority of the leaders of the world came to Israel and said, we're supporting you. You have the right to protect yourself. The majority of the world says, yes, continue with the war. Be very careful to as much as you want to obey the international law. Israel, when it takes prisoners from the Hamas or anyone, let the Red Cross coming and check the people and see that they are living in a proper condition, etc. Do you know that the Hamas do not allow the Red Cross to come and check the 421 kidnapped children, babies, elderlies? How come? Why don't you say this is not humanitarian? Why don't you say it's not humanitarian? Why the Red Cross not allowed for 1.5 months to go and check these people?
It's not that I don't think. It's not that I don't think that it's inhumanitarian. Of course it would be. But that's not.
So why don't you chant? Why don't you chant Hamas? Release the 10 months old baby.
Because
why don't you chant that? If you are such a humanitarian, why don't you say release the 87 years old lady? Why don't you chant and say 421 citizens kidnapped? Why don't you chant release the kidnappers?
Okay, but absolutely we want the hostages released. If
when you say from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, which means kill all the Jewish people.
No,
you don't chant at the same time, Hamas, kill release the hostages.
Right.
Hamas, you're not okay to go into houses and to go into restaurants and block citizens. If you don't say that, I'm sorry to tell you, you are complacent. You are part. How do you say complacent? Complicit to the crime, because they, not by me, by the UN, by the UN, they committing a genocide. They want to kill all the Jewish people. They said that Israel is an apartheid. Apartheid means a segregation, to separate people based on the color, belief, etc. In Israel, there's one thing not is apartheid, because all the Arabs, all the Muslims, all the Christians have exactly the same rights. So where is the apartheid? The apartheid is by the...
Is Hamas that is incited this genocide on their own people, basically?
Hamas
that's caused the
Hamas
genocide.
incited this genocide. Hamas attacked Israel, and Hamas kill anyone that do not follow the Sharia law, anyone that is not supporting them, anyone that says one word against them, and anyone that tried to move from the north where the war happening to the south where it's protected. They're shooting them. So where is the humanitarian view should be? The humanitarian view should be, Hamas, stop shooting your own people, stop shooting citizens, because if you are a man and not a coward hiding in tunnels, you will go out and you will fight the Israeli army. But they cannot. They can only be like coward doing, take citizens, hide behind them, and say, oh, look what's happening to our people. You killed our people. No, we didn't kill your people. If you're using humans, if you are embedding yourself in between citizens, if you're putting your towers, your tunnels, in the tunnel spear, the exit from the tunnels, inside houses of citizens, what do you expect to do when someone shoot an RPG on an Israeli tank from a house? Israel don't know how many people there is in the house. It needs to retaliate. And then people die. How can you shoot an RPG from a house full of children? What kind of monster are you?
Okay, I just wanted to...
As I say, worse than Hitler, because Hitler was at least trying to hide it.
Okay.
Hitler was at least trying to hide it. They don't even try to hide it.
Okay, so if I could just get one moment, I just wanted to go back on the fact when you said, why aren't you saying release the hostages? Now, I've had this, I posted this time and time again, and I've actually now gone ahead and posted it again, and I wanted to read this to you. I have it as my profile picture, I have it as on my business page, I have it on my personal page, right? And I said, we will not partake in, condone any hateful content towards Jewish or Israeli people. We condemn any hatefulness. We know an entire population cannot take on the burdens or repercussions of the actions of the evil government, both Zionist and Hamas governments alike. We stand for the innocent victims of October 7th, just as we stand for the 14,000 massacred in Palestine. We will not have hate in our hearts. We will love and defend all of those who have light in them forever. So I do not ever want us to assume that because we are pro-Palestinian, that we are anti-Israel. That is not the truth.
Okay, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. Number one, I never heard that in any one of the rallies that I've been at. Number two, it's a beautiful statement, but I'm sorry to tell you, it's naive and quite frankly nonsense. If this statement will go to the Nazis, what do you think the Nazi will do? It's nonsense. It's not the Nazis are good and we not condemn and the allies are good. No. There is a good and bad in this universe.
So I wasn't saying Hamas, I was saying the Palestinians.
No, the Palestinians. I don't care about the Palestinians are not the problem. The Hamas. The only problem with Palestinians is that they allow the Hamas to be in power.
I condemn Hamas just as much as I condemn the Zionists.
Okay, no. What is Zionist? What does it mean, Zionist? Oh, sorry. What does it mean, Zionist? What's the word mean?
Hateful.
No. Not what is the characteristic. What's the word mean? Like when I ask what is a black or white person in South Africa, I don't ask the characteristic. Is he a nice person or not? I'm asking what's the definition.
Not a nice person. Bad person, definitely.
So what is the characteristic of a Zionist? The word Zionist mean only one thing: people that like to live in Zion. Zion is just another biblical name for Israel. That's all. Zionist is a movement that, if go and check in the internet, not conspiracy theory, go and check. The word Zion is going to a dictionary.
No, I have.
Just means Zion. Zion is the land of Israel. It's the promised land of Israel. And all to be Zionist mean it's to want to come back to your mother or father's land.
So Zionist is basically somebody that says, I think Israel should exist.
That's all. That's all. What you heard is not data.
Nobody none of the Western world is telling you that Israel shouldn't exist.
But they are. You know who is saying that? If anybody
Hamas,
who's ever said,
right?
no, anyone who's ever said from the river to the sea.
But you can't base that. You can't.
But hold on. No. But if you've said, if I go around and I say, I think that all black people should die, and then you say, oh, so you want black people to die, and you say, no, you can't.
Do you think that? Okay, now I'm going to ask you this question. Do you
wait? But just before you hold on, yeah. Kaylene, just before you skip to that, I'm making a specific point before you ask the next question. One point to make an understanding. If somebody says all black people should die, and then you say, oh, so you want all black people to die, and you say, no, you can't assume that I want all black people to die because I said that. So it's the same as when you say from the river to the sea. What that means is I want to push all the Jews from the river to the sea, not we will live together between the river and the sea.
Read the PLO.
Hold on, it's from.
You know that 85% of people do not know that is the definition to you.
But that doesn't matter.
The fact that someone is stupid or don't know, do not release him from responsibility. If you chant something, you have the responsibility to know what you say. If I say Hitler, I have the responsibility to know what I say. And if I don't, I'm either stupid or a criminal.
Okay, there are different definitions of it on the internet. There are different definitions of it on the internet.
Definition of what? Definition from the river to the sea.
No, of Zionist or of what?
We're talking about the river to the sea. Don't jump to another thing.
Okay, I thought that's what you were. Okay,
I'm saying there are different definitions of the saying from the river to the sea, right?
Give me the definition. Give me the definition. Read it.
I'm saying there are different definitions on the internet.
Give me the definition. Give it to me. Tell me what it is.
So as far as I have read on the internet.
Okay, good. I will find it for you.
But in the meantime, while he's looking, if I go around and I draw on a little black mustache here, and I go, Hail Hitler, and somebody comes and says, you're a Nazi, and you said, just so you know, 85% of my friends don't know that this means Nazism.
Okay.
Then you tell the person, I'm sorry, you're an idiot then, because everybody knows what this means, and if you don't, go look it up.
Okay, so I'm just opening. I'm just Google searching. From the river to the sea is a political slogan and phrase that refer geographically to the area between the Jordan River and the Mediterranean Seas, which currently include the State of Israel and the Palestinian Authority, the West Bank, which include the East Jerusalem. So when someone say from the river to the sea, what is Palestine will be free, they say we need to confront the evilness. They want genocide, and they blame us. A criminal, by the way, this is something for you to know, always we blame you at what he's doing. If your husband tell you that you are cheating, he is cheating. A criminal always blame you at what he's doing. They killing babies, and they blame Israelis of killing citizens. How more obvious it can be when you go to a restaurant and your purpose is to blow the restaurant with citizens who can be saying after that, no, you killing citizens. My answer would be, if I was be very blunt, is no, I'm not. You are a murderer, and I'm doing everything in my power to protect myself and saving your people that you don't do because you hiding, because you are a coward, because all the cowards are also people are liars, and all the liars are cowards. If you had a boyfriend that lied to you, that boyfriend was a coward. all the cowards are liars and all the liars are cowards. If they hiding in the tunnels instead of protecting their people, Israel build a shelter for every citizen, build Iron Dome. So when the Hamas shoot at Israel, 40,000 missiles. If Israel was not so amazing in caring for its citizens and so smart to create the Iron Dome, 40,000 missiles aim at civilians, not at soldiers, at civilians, will kill probably somewhere like 500,000 people. So now what we should do to be proportional, Israel should turn off the Iron Dome, and Israel should ask people while the Hamas shooting missile to be in the street so they will die. No, the Hamas care only for the Hamas. They have protection in the tunnels. There is 40,000 Hamas people, only about 5,000 got killed, which means they are hiding, but the citizens are getting hit because they are hiding in those tunnels. They go out, they take out their head from the tunnels like cockroaches, shoot an RPG, create a mess, and then go down and leave the citizens to protect them. This is cowardness.
Can I
And
ask?
then-
Can I ask, what are your thoughts on this sort of extreme right-winged messages that are coming out of Israel, particularly a lot from the Israeli youth, that are saying things like the Palestinians are animals, that they're enjoying seeing the dead babies, the more dead babies, the better. There's all of these videos coming out of Israel of a lot of the young generation speaking like this in an extreme right-winged and extremely hateful way. And now I know that in all our cultures that there exists, like, for example, when Julius Malema was screaming, kill the Boers, remember that? That was horrific. And none of us condone that. And they assume just because I'm black, and that I condone that, and I think that it is the worst kind of backward thinking. But what we have been shown is a lot of celebrations of the deaths, a lot of the Israeli people happy to take responsibility for the deaths and being proud of that. And I'm just saying this is the narrative that we're seeing through videos coming out of.
I just say one quick note as a general line.
Okay.
Just so you know, and what everybody should know that's listening, what you are shown, because that was the words you used, we're being shown a lot of things.
Yeah.
What we are shown is not necessarily truth and shouldn't be necessarily taken as truth from both sides.
But let me tell you what I know as an Israeli, okay? In Israel, just before 7th of October, there was the majority of the Israelis, by all polls, wanted peace. What does it mean, wanted peace? Every month, Israel transferred somewhere around $100 million to the Palestinians every month in an effort to create peace, to let them build their own place. Israel, for years, when they shot at us missiles, if the missiles did not go over once per week, 10 to 20 missiles, Israel did not actually retaliate. This is actual fact. I've been in the army, I know what's happening. Israel financed the PLO, the Palestinian Authority, which is different than the Hamas, and Israel is the majority, up to 7 October, wanted peace. Israel signed the Geneva Accord, the Oslo Accord, the agreements with Yasser Arafat. Israel agreed for the 48th division. Israel agreed to all offer to peace. All offer to peace, Israel agreed. After 7 October, when 420 people got kidnapped, more than 2,000 people slaughtered, whole families disappeared, the viewpoint in Israel at the moment is, no, people that do something like that are animals, they are not actual humans. And I can tell you that the way that Hamas behave, not the Palestinians, the way that Hamas behave is worse than the Nazis. And because if you want, I'll send you the videos from their own camps.
So you don't condemn this kind of hate speech that they use?
No. I didn't answer. I didn't say. I said what's the viewpoint in Israel? Now, I can tell you that this is the only problem with this viewpoint. It doesn't bring to a solution, because the purpose of war is peace. The purpose of war is peace. Mm-hmm. So I understand the outrage. I understand that when the police came to a squatter camp in the apartheid time, the black wanted to kill all the white people. It's not logical, but this was the viewpoint. So today Israel is mourning and in pain. It has 420 families that has been kidnapped. We don't know, at least not even the Red Cross can go to them. There is 2,000 citizens that got killed, 2,000 people that got killed. And this is something that was targeted, the citizen was targeted. So there's a lot of pain. So I don't think that is right, but I can understand the viewpoint. This viewpoint will have to change. It is right now, I'm upset. You don't judge a person when he's upset. So they're upset, so we give them a little bit of time, and that's why there is a government, and the government of Israel is not the Hamas.
Yeah. It's just, I think what I think
that by the end of this war, you will see that there will be peace. There will be peace because the Hamas will go away, much like there was peace with Germany and Japan when Hitler was moved away. Exactly the same way. And the Hamas will go away because let me finish, because the Hamas made the mistake of its life. You can come to a lion and throw stones at him. But at one point, if you upset the lion, he will eat you. And you cannot complain why the lion ate you. Because if you try to kill the children of the lion will kill you. And in that case, Israel is much, much stronger than the Palestinians.
We all know you're much stronger, which is why.
So it's actually stupidity. Instead of taking the offer for peace for 20 years, it is stupidity to continuously fight. Why will you open such? There was peace before this war. Before this war, there was an agreement. Israel gave money to Hamas. 20,000 Palestinians came to Israel. Those same Palestinians that attacked the Israelis. There was talks about peace. Most of the Israelis wanted peace. And then the idiots go into citizens' home and attack them. You come to a lion and you try to steal its cubs. I don't care what you say. The lion will kill you, and you will see that the day after there will be no Hamas.
I mean, absolutely. I'm
the same. There will be no Hamas, and Israel will free Palestine. Israel will free Palestine from the Hamas. Israel actually do the job for the Hamas, for the Palestinians, and any supporter of Palestine should be very thankful for Israel, because the Hamas kill LGBT people, the Hamas kill black people, the Hamas kill women that don't cover the face. The Hamas is a brutal organization that use its citizen as human shield. This is terrible. Israel doing a big favor to the Palestinians.
To the world, because it's very clear.
Because they say, it's not us. They say we start with Israel and then we'll go to the American. They say that Israel is the small Satan and the American is the big Satan. Listen. And another thing that I want to say, many people say that Israel occupy Gaza. Israel don't occupy Gaza or the Palestine. Israel actually gave Gaza what Egypt didn't want to do, what Jordan didn't want to do, gave them total authority. They took the money and built tunnels and missiles. They stole the material that went in to build houses, and they built missiles instead. They decided to go and attack Israel instead of protecting the citizen and getting the citizen into flourishing and prospering. So what Israel is doing is the only humanitarian action, which is take off Nazis, Hamas. That's the only humanitarian action that the Allies done. Took out Hitler, took out Nazi Germany. We're doing the job.
At any cost, to the cost of any civilian life. You take
Look, I don't know. I don't know if it's any cost, but what the Allies done? They put a bomb on Hiroshima. They killed 6 million citizens in Germany.
So crazy.
I don't know. What do you suggest? To negotiate with Hitler? What do you suggest? What should the Allies do? Negotiate with the Satan, with Hitler? Tell me, what they should do? You probably don't know the history, but the Allies, like Israel, tried to negotiate with Hitler, and he stabbed them in the back. Israel negotiated and had an agreement with the Hamas. And one morning at 7th of October, they went and killed citizens, innocent people in their bed. Now, this is one thing. You go and you target citizen is one thing. When you go to a war against a Hamas and he hide behind citizen is another thing. And if you cannot differentiate, I will ask you to take your moral compass. Yeah, so if you can, so obviously you're moral, but otherwise you cannot say at any cost is yes, at any cost, because otherwise the whole world will die. If now tomorrow white people will get organized and decide, you know what, we're going to remove all the black people from South Africa. So the black people at any cost will fight the white people. And they've tried to do that, and you've done it at any cost.
Their babies, that's for sure.
Sorry?
I mean, regardless of I can differentiate between the enemies and civilians.
I've been in a war. And in a war, you cannot differentiate as much as you want. Israel doing everything it can to differentiate, but in a war you can, because the black people kill many white citizens, including babies, in the struggle. And I can show you the cases that it happened.
Oh, I know.
In every struggle, babies and children unfortunately get hurt, and the more the enemy hide behind citizens, the worse it gets.
Yeah.
So
there
it's
was
not
a story in the day. Sorry to interrupt you. And I mean we don't have video evidence from back then, but the reason why among the black population that we don't like Winnie Mandela is that she apparently burnt the bodies of she burnt children in tires in defense to try and prove a point of her stance with the at the time I think it was the IFP.
Exactly. But the point is that here she went against children specifically. That's what made her evil. Hamas went against children specifically. But if she was as part of the war and by mistake a child will die, it's terrible. It's unthinkable. I cannot think about my child that will die. But this is the cost of war. And you cannot be all love, peace, and happiness and hope to live in this cruel world, because this is a very tough world, and even the lions have problems. So if you want to say clean, it's when you sit in an air-conditioned room with internet and everything is okay. But when you go to a war, and I've been in a terrible war, I can tell you that as much as we tried not to hurt civilians, the enemy put civilians as a shield that you don't even see. They shoot from a house. You don't know there is people there. So you shoot the house, and then you go in and you say, oh my God, what did I do? I didn't know these children there. But
okay.
the shame is on the people that hide behind those children. Okay. The shame is on the people that target civilians. The shame is on the people that stupidly support such an organization. Since when anyone support terrorist organization? How mad the world can get?
Yeah,
and you will see that the one common denominator to all those people that support the Palestinian, they don't have the data. They don't know where Israel is. You're not the first one that didn't know where Israel is. You're not the first person that didn't know where Gaza is. I spoke to many people, many supporters. They don't know. They support. So when you chant something without knowing, I'm sorry to tell you, you're just a parrot. Parrots are not so intelligent.
Okay, so
I will not do that. I will not just chant something without understanding.
Okay, and I do. I will take that. There's a lot that has been said, and I mean, I'm very grateful for the information, for the honesty, but please also understand that there's a lot that I disagree with, but I'm also going to educate myself more on my side. But there's a lot that I feel that in many ways, from all sides, a lot of things are just not making sense. The 1 + 1 is...
It's not making sense when there is lies. When a person do not understand, things do not make sense to him. So start with a very simple thing. Realize what's the history of this place. There was never any president of Palestine because there was no Palestine. Israel is very nice to help the Palestinian and give them country. The two-state solution is something that Israel supported until the Palestinians started to blow in restaurants. The Israel gave $4 billion in 2005, asking the Palestinians, please build yourself a state. Instead, they started the Intifada. It's crazy. It's hard to believe. The evil is so big that it's hard to believe.
Okay.
Actually, it's not.
Can I ask a really personal question? Can I ask?
Of course.
Okay. This might be a bit difficult to answer, and I'm not asking you this to put you on the spot, but I genuinely want to know.
Ask me.
Do you believe that Israelis are superior to Palestinians?
No, I believe that Israelis are more educated. Just you will see that every country has a level of education, and the more education you have, the more civilized you are. And Israel is more educated, not because you are more clever, because you just sat in class more. The government insisted that you will learn.
Money, right?
Sorry?
That also has to do with wealth and poverty.
No, it has to do with the government. If the government decide that the people in the squatter camps will not get education because the money goes to their pocket, they steal the money, like happening in South Africa. So the people in the squatter camp will not get educated. But if, like in Israel, the first most important thing, the biggest amount of money that go other than defense is for education. So the Israelis are more educated. The US is more educated than Israel even, because they put more attention on education. So the only difference between Israelis and Palestinians and the white and black, etc., is just the level of education, how much the family and the government insist that they will get educated. Because if you don't insist that they will get educated, you insist that they will get stupid.
Okay.
And what happens is, the beef that I have with the Hamas, the beef that I have with the Hamas, other than killing children, is that it keeps its people in poverty. There was no shortage of money. Billions and billions of dollars go every year to Gaza. If they will give 10% of this money to the citizens and not steal it, if in South Africa the government will give 10% of the money that disappear to the black people that don't have money,
the ruling government would take all of their money if they were a terrorist organization. Absolutely. The first thing that they would take from the people is the money, right?
Of course, that's why the head of the Hamas are billionaires living in Doha or other places. This is so they are billionaires. Why are they billionaires? From where? They're stealing the money. Every time they don't have money, they open a war, small war. Israel retaliate. There is destruction. Everyone give them after that money. They take the money. When they spend the money, they open another war. It's too easy to see. It's not, the question is not the Palestinian and the Israelis, not the Palestinian and the Jewish. The question is the thief that in the government, and the Hamas is thieves exactly like the South African government and other governments. That thief, they're stealing. Number two is the jihad. When they get educated, miseducated, because it's not exactly what in the Quran and the Shia says, but when they get educated that the only way for them to get into heaven is to kill Jews or to make them pay. And not only Jews, by the way, they say first is Jews and then is Christians and then the rest of the world. Everyone must become Muslim or else. This is what it says. So once they get educated that they have to do that, of course, they will become extremists. Who will go and explode himself in the middle of a restaurant? Go and explode yourself in the middle of a army base. I will understand, fine, you are a soldier. But to go and explode yourself in the middle of a restaurant, to go into a house of innocent people and just kill the children, to put a baby in the oven and cook him, that's what they've done in October. To get a woman that pregnant, and there is a video from the on cam. They take the woman pregnant, they open she's alive, they open her belly, take the child, stab the child while the woman is alive, and then shoot the woman. This is on a video from the on GoPro.
Okay, and do you? But I mean, you do understand that obviously there have been Israeli soldiers that have committed such atrocities themselves as well.
The
right?
only difference, when the Israeli soldiers get found that something like that happened, he goes to jail. Do you know how many Israeli soldiers got to jail for hitting a Palestinians? For hitting, not killing, not nothing. They go to jail. The purpose of the Israeli army is not to kill civilians. There is law and order in Israel. One of the most respected judicial system is in Israel. When a prime minister of Israel stole money, he went to jail. When a soldier shot a person that stabbed a person, yes, he shot them, there was a trial, and he went to jail.
So why is the UN saying that Israel is committing war crimes?
Okay, so the UN says that Israel committing war crime, but the UN is controlled by number of countries. Since the majority of the countries are Muslims, since the majority of the countries are controlled by the money of the oil, then they say. But they also said, the same UN says that we mustn't hurt Hitler. The same UN put the head of Iran to be in the Committee of Human Rights. The head of Iran. Israel was condemned by the UN, I think last year, I'm throwing a number, I don't remember exactly, like 40 times. Iran, not once.
And just to give context, Iran is that country that was in the news about a year ago for brutally murdering the woman for not wearing her hijab.
Yes,
the whole sensation. So that's Iran. That's the country, right?
Is the UN say go against Israel and have every, like, I think 40 or 50 per year statements against Israel, but none, not one, against Hezbollah or Hamas. None against many other, none against Syria. Syria killed half of the population. 1 second. Syria.
Look,
say again.
You believe that why? Like why do you believe that the UN is being prejudiced against Israel?
I tell you, I don't want to tell you why. I tell you, I don't tell you why. I just look at the data and I see that something do not make sense. If Syria bomb with a chemical weapon its own population and kill half of its population in a bloody war, and there is not one condemnation against Syria, but at the same year there is 40 condemnation against Israel, I would say that someone here is a little bit cuckoo.
Okay.
So you need to look at the data. This is what we started with. You need to look at the data. Look, don't listen. Look, don't listen. Because if you just listen and someone tell you, oh, the UN said, so what? So Biden said the opposite. So who is right? Not him and not them. The data.
And that's why I was coming definitely from a question standpoint. I was asking questions. I was not making any kind of statements. I think right throughout I made it a conscious effort to try and gather data for myself and anybody else who wanted to hear your side. Israel is at the moment being massively demonized. There is a lot of and I've heard what you've said, and I definitely am going to make a conscious point of educating myself more around the subject. However, there's a lot of things that not just with the media, but from what I would say from social media, from the journalists that are on the ground, that information that has been spread, that where it's made sense to us that Israel is the bad guy, right? So
how can it make sense to you that Israel is the bad guy if you read the charter of the Hamas that says we need to kill all the Jews? How do you know if something? How do you know? In this deep fake, there's so much fake news on the online. How do you know if something is right or if true or not?
Absolutely.
You look
And
at
this
the
is our struggle.
purpose. Well, how do you know if something is right or wrong? You look at the purpose behind it. If the purpose of the Hamas is the stated purpose is to kill all the Jews and to push them to the sea, all the Jews, not only the Israelis, all the Jews. So if that's the purpose, and the purpose of Israel, read the Statement of Independence of Israel, the purpose of Israel is peace with everyone. So when you see that, even if there is one bad apple or 20 bad apples within the Israelis, or 100 bad apples.
I've seen a lot of old videos of politicians saying that all the Palestinians need to be killed, annihilated, taken out.
Not a problem, but if you've seen that video, I don't know if you saw it in context. And even if some politicians say that, you know how do you know when a politician lie? It's very simple. They're moving them out. So the fact that they say that, it's mean nothing. I don't look at what people say. I look at the action. Israel did not targeted ever civilians on purpose. And if it was, whoever did it went to jail. So the purpose, at least my intent is peace. The intent of the Hamas is 100% killing all the Israelis. So there's no question. You need to, before you change your intent, before you come to me and tell me, look, I want to be your friend. If you tell me I want to kill you, with all due respect, and I say I want to be your friend, but you say I want to kill you, you have to be stupid to come into bed with me. I tell you, I want to kill you. So anything that I will say will obviously be a lie and deceit, because those are terrorists. ISIS also said a lot of things against the US. So what should we do now? Be understanding to ISIS or believe the fake news? No. ISIS, from their viewpoint, they show that the US bombing their own people and they're committing a massacre, etc. No one questioned that we need to take out ISIS. Why? Because they went against civilians. The same thing, if someone can take a child and put him in an oven, if someone can behead a woman, if someone can behead a soldier, these are really messed up
I
people.
agree, and this is the whole reason why I'm here, because we've been told that this is what what we've been shown is this is what the Israelis are doing in Palestine.
Yeah, but it's
you say that this is
go and look, and you need to go and look, because if Israel, the moment that there was a suspicion, when the missile was shot on this hospital, that was a Hamas missile, there was a suspicion by the whole world that it's Israel. Everyone assumed that it's Israel, and at that moment, the US says, if this is true, the war will end immediately. Because we're expecting from the Jewish people, from the Israelis.
Rockets are like marked or something. I mean, this might sound really stupid, right? I'm just a crazy artist asking, but surely the missile or the missiles or the rockets are marked. Like if a rocket lands somewhere, you can tell who bombed that place, right? Be it if this was
what happened how did they prove that it's the Hamas? Because Israel has drones all the time, and they showed the video of the rocket coming out from the Hamas area into the hospital. That was the first evidence. The second evidence is that the Americans have their own drones that shows not by a video, but by radar, that the rocket was shot from the Hamas. And the Hamas had more or less up to now in this war 1,000 missiles that fell within their own civilian population.
If there is that kind of data, why is there a question that it was Israel or Hamas who's causing all the civilian deaths? If there is that kind of data,
did you ever answer you?
Technology, we can tell who is responsible for these deaths.
But Israel showed that, but the news was already there. Everyone heard that it's Israel. You know, have you ever seen a situation where someone says something bad about you, and everyone believed, and then you prove that it's not you? But now there is always this question, is it you? And many people did not hear because you told that it's not you to 10 people, but the bad news got to
Nobody said
billions of
it's
people.
not Israel. Nobody's come forward and said it's not Israel. There's the
No,
politicians.
no. It is, no. There is 100%. The US said that, the president of the US said that, not US. Israel showed the videos, and if you want, I will send you the videos after that of the proof that it's not proof by Israel, proof by the US. And I can give you another $100,000 if it's not true. Not rand, dollars. It's 100%, 100% the Hamas shot on its own people. By the way, not on purpose, I think. It was a mistake because most of the rockets that they build is home built, and they're very inaccurate. Very, they have a lot of accidents with those rockets, many. And many people die from their own rockets, not because they want to kill the people, but because the rockets are so bad, the quality is so bad. It's primitive. How they do that? You know how they build the rockets? Israel put water pipes in all of Gaza to help the Gazans to have water. The Hamas dig out those pipes because Israel don't allow to put in uncontrolled pipe to make missiles. So the Hamas dig out all the pipes, disconnected Gaza from water, so the Gazan can have water only by using wells and use it for missiles. So it's all very primitive. Israel supply, they built 500 kilometers of tunnels from metal and cement. Israel supplied this metal and cement to build houses, to build citizens, to build roads, etc., and whatever they needed. The Hamas stole it. Israel gave about 500,000 liters of diesel to the hospitals way before the war, about 2 months before the war, so they have a reserve. Israel built that reserve. The Hamas stole the reserve.
Okay. Again, I know we are in American time, but I am on Cape Town time, and I have a very.
By the way, we're in Cape Town.
By the way, I'm in Cape Town.
We're both in Cape Town.
Yes.
We're with you at this time.
I wanted to say that. I mean, I've actually cried a lot of tears on the phone with Gal this week. It's been a heart-wrenching week, and one of the reasons I'm not just saying it, but like, if we just put the death of babies to the side, I have a lot of Jewish friends, and there is this really painful divide that is happening at the moment. Really painful. And I just feel that we have to find a way to be able to. We won't agree. I don't think we're ever going to agree with each other. I think if we could just throw that out the window completely. There has to be some kind of middle ground that we don't give the evil forces what they want, and that's to separate us, right? So that the good people cannot live together in peace. Because at the end of the day, that's what we want. I know I can be all butterflies and rainbows sometimes, but I know that life is hard. But life is hard enough without us having to fight with our friends on the ground. I do not want to have to avoid going to Sea Point. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's not nice. It's not comfortable.
Yeah, I'll tell you, you are very right, but two things. Number one, we don't need to find middle ground. We need to find the truth. Because the reason that Germany is where it is now and Japan is where it is now, and the reason the Ally did what they did is because only the truth shall set you free, not the middle ground. The middle ground should make you.
I'm saying for us now, day to day. Right now, I'm talking about. I know we need to find the truth. Right
now, the truth. You need to understand what you say when you say from the river to the sea. You need to understand what you say, Hamas.
I hear you.
You need to read the charter of Hamas.
Yeah.
So it's not middle ground. Middle ground, which means let's both lie. Okay. Middle ground means let's both lie. No, let's look at the purpose. Let's look at the actual data that we know 100% is right, not things that we are unsure, we move aside. And when we take the things that are 100% right, that the Hamas don't deny and the Israelis don't deny, we look at that, and that enough data to make any intelligent person realize, hold on, there's something wrong. If these people decide that the only purpose is to kill all the Jews, no, I'm not supporting that.
So
it's like if
I will
Israel will
say
come and
that-
say, my only purpose is to kill all the Palestinians.
Yeah.
Who will support Israel?
Sure,
They
but
say,
that
they
is-
put it
a
in
lot
the
of them are
charter.
saying that.
My only purpose is to kill all the Jews. You don't
Okay.
need to be intelligent. You don't need to be smart. I
Yeah,
would not support that.
And just so you know, Kaylene, it's not that a lot of them are saying that. It's not that there's not a lot of Israelis saying that. We're talking, there might be, as we said, 100, 1,000 bad apples. But
Okay.
the purpose, the
organization.
the group's purpose, the stated purpose of Israel is one very clear thing. And the stated purpose of Hamas is another very clear thing. And if somebody doesn't go and look and educate themselves, then they won't be able to make an intelligent decision. But before they do that, then maybe rather people need to not yet chant something before they know what they're chanting. Just hold your chant.
And I agree with you 100%, because the thing is, I will genuinely tell you that I'm speaking just for myself and my personal fears. I'm not speaking for anybody else. When I say that, when we say from the river to the sea, it was ignorant for us not to know that you perceive this as hateful. And I apologize profusely for that. And that is not something I will say again. Somebody as a family member of somebody close to me doesn't see me as a black person. They've got another word, which I don't condone the term for mixed race people here, but she very clearly kept saying the blacks. And I just said, it's very offensive when you say the blacks. And she said, but I don't understand. And I said, well, you don't need to understand fully, but I'm telling you that it's offensive. Can you please stop saying the blacks, the way that you say it? She didn't understand that it was offensive. When I told her it was offensive, she said, okay, I hear that you're saying that it's offensive. I genuinely did not know that was offensive. I thought, yes, that is very fucking ignorant, that you're not living under a rock. But in the same way, we did not, and I say we and my friends, did not realize that you perceive that as a hateful saying, that it is seen as kill the Jews, push the Jews out. That is not what we want.
It's not perceived. Excuse me. It's not perceived. It's not a feeling. I don't feel it. I don't perceive it as something, anything. It's just a fact.
Okay.
It's the fact. If there's only one Jewish country and you push all the people to the sea, and if you read the PLO charter and then you read the Hamas charter, there is nothing to do about feeling. It's not about how you say it. It's not feeling.
It doesn't say that directly on Google.
It's black and white. When you say that, you say, I want genocide. You say, I want to finish what Hitler did not finish. That's what you say. And this is irresponsible. This is not human. This is inhuman. To want to kill a whole nation, to want to kill a whole religion, just because you don't agree with it, and to support that, I think that to kill a whole nation is worse than killing 10 children.
I want to close on this. First of all, I want to say thank you very much to both of you for it has been a difficult discussion, and I do hope that it is one of many that can be opened up on your platform to be able to slowly start to bridge the gap and to find the truth, right?
Thank you.
I do want to close on the fact that when I say that I am pro-Palestinian, it does not mean that I am anti-Israel. If anything, I love Israel and I love Jewish people very much, and I just wear this because of the amount of children that have died. That's all, right?
And I'm pro-Palestinian. Listen, I am pro-Palestinian. I want to release the Palestinian from the Nazis, Hamas.
Is free Palestine from Hamas or free Palestine?
Exactly, that makes sense. Let's free Palestine from Hamas and go as a whole group. Say no, don't use children as human shield. It's not okay. It's not okay by any standard.
And it's not free, Kaylene, it's not free Palestine from Israel.
It's free Palestine from Hamas.
Okay.
Because Israel Okay, no, well,
I mean,
you
I
said
want
what
the Palestine people.
come up.
I don't know the truth. Yeah, I don't know the truth. I just want Palestine to be free.
No, if you don't know the truth, you cannot want. It's like I'll say, I don't know the truth, but I just want the blacks to be segregated in the area. I don't know the truth. It will be stupid for me to say that. Anyone that says, I don't know the truth, but I want, I'm sorry to tell you, need to check what he's doing. I don't know the truth, but he's to blame. I don't know the truth, but he's to blame. Like, seriously, come on. I don't know the truth, but this is what I want. No, irresponsible, inhumane. A humane thing to do is to look what is the data, to find the truth, and then make an educated decision. Don't be a parrot. I don't know the truth, but I just want that. I don't want the truth, but I just don't like black people.
Palestine to be free, and I will not pretend that I have all of the information and all the data, and we can now solve what has been trying to be solved for hundreds of years now. When I wear my necklace, my point is, it is not against anybody. It is just saying that we want Palestine to be free.
But if you want to be free, it's against someone. Free from who?
Against anybody.
Free from who? Okay, so free from who? So free from who? Free from who? From cockroaches? No, it's either free from Israel, or free from themselves, or free from the Hamas. I say that we are on the same boat. I agree with you. We need to free Palestine. We need to give the Palestinians a fair chance to build their own beautiful, prosperous country like we tried so many times. And that will not happen for as long as the people are controlled by criminals, by murderers, by Hamas, by ISIS, by the Nazis. The Nazis bring only pain and misery, exactly the same like Hamas. So don't be so, love and happiness. I just want people to be free. No, that's nonsense. The real thing is free from who? If you don't say I want to be free from who, I'm sorry to tell you, it's irresponsible.
You want me to say you want me to say what you believe, and I'm sorry.
No, I don't want to say
You just have to have a position. The Americans wanted to be free from the British, so they became free from the British.
They didn't just want to be free from the cockroaches. They want to be free from the British. It's very specific. The ally want to be free from the Nazis. It was very specific. The allies want to be free from ISIS. It was very specific. It's not free from the air. No. And the Israelis and Palestinians, I am sure, want to be free from the Hamas. And if you have any doubt about it, please study
the Hamas.
Read
Hamas. Their charter.
Read the charter.
And then you'll know who. Because if before then you're kind of just saying, I just want them to be free, which wonderful,
is not intelligent.
Because then it goes to nowhere. You have to have a target to free somebody from. The slaves wanted to be free from the South, from in America, from the captors in the South, from the plantations. They had to be free from something. So there has to be freedom from, but if you just say, I want them to be free, maybe from Israel, maybe from Hamas, but I'm just going to say they need to be free, then you're actually saying nothing. You're not going to bring the result you want. You have to figure out who you're trying to free them from.
Okay, one more thing.
So you can leave that with me to do the work myself.
Of course.
Yeah. And
who will do the work for you? It's always us that need to do the work.
I'm going to have to love and leave you. And thank you so much. And I'm very grateful for this time with the two of you today.
Thank you. Just before we finish, I just want to ask anyone that's listening, if you want to be on this show,
please,
and you have an opposing view or for view or against view or half view or whatever view, as long as you have an actual view, contact us. You can find me on Marescia Official or G-Prosperity. Or
I've asked so many times to find very pro-Palestinians and Muslims. I've asked, and people don't really come forward. So I would really like somebody to come and continue,
be willing to
this conversation.
To say what they think, because but just before you come, get the data.
Yeah.
Like I've prepared the data so I could show you on screen the data, not my opinions, because anyone have an opinion. An opinion means nothing. Data is what you actually work with. The mind work with data. Robots work with opinions.
Yeah. Amazing. Kaylene, thank you
Thank
for
you
your
very
time.
much.
I know it wasn't easy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
I appreciate
much.
you being on.
Thank you. Bye-bye and good night.
Bye.
Good night.